family. It's a shofar from Full Show Energy Work.
And this is Kirti from Dilse Culture.
And we're here to talk to you today about ESR, or Expanded Sensual Response. You know, and so if you didn't get a chance already, watch our other video about cocooning. But we're doing this video to talk about the two major phenomena that happens during the energy work sessions. People ask like what to expect or whatever, and so we just wanted to make some videos to address that. So we did the one about cocooning, and expanded sensual response is the other thing that happens in sessions. So if you want to speak a little bit on it first, I'll let you go.
Sure. So for me, what I've experienced and what I've witnessed is expanded sensual response is when the body almost realizes the extreme, I'm going to try to put this in words, that the body feels the extreme movement of all cellular and molecular happenings within the body, and the speed is so very fast that everything, all other senses have to let go in order to be able to manage and feel. I mean, and when I say manage, it just really means so that you can continue the experience. You've got to let go as soon as the mind gets involved in terms of questioning or wondering, then it kind of like will slow down again. And you might go into cocooning, and then when it's like a wave, they're like waves of the ocean, and ebbs and flows. And expanded sensual response also, for me as a performer, is very similar to what I've experienced as a Kundalini awakening, or what we call flow state in the world of everything else. Flow state is when you're challenged just enough, but you're also able to successfully ride and keep progressing, right? And so then you hit this flow state where you're engaged and you're challenged, but you're also fully expressed and fully released. So I've felt that on stage. I've felt that in meditation before. I have to say that feeling it on a massage table from just my breath, and feeling it to a state of orgasmic release, that's new. That's new for me from this work. I've definitely felt those orgasmic releases before, but at a state where it could last up to 2 to 3 hours is new for me. So for me, I think ESR is pretty amazing that I can feel that orgasmic state for 2 to 3 hours, and at first with the help of somebody else, and now to just engage into that state whenever I want and for as long as I want. It's like on tap.
Right.
So that's for me, without any planned choreography or discussion on it. Hopefully it makes sense.
It makes sense to me.
Okay.
I mean, and expanded sensual response, or ESR, it is our ability to go into this state, this trance-like state, where basically it's orgasmic living now, because any little movement, any little nuance of our being we become aware of its orgasmic nature. So just someone with attention doing like this when you're in a state of ESR can become orgasmic. Any little thing, you can even, depending on how deep the person goes into themselves, even your lovers or the practitioner's thoughts towards you can set you off. And it's like the waves then start to play on each other, and it just builds, and it hits a crescendo, and it may come back down, and then it goes back up. So it's a very powerful thing. And what is the purpose of ESR? Okay, that's beautiful, but what is the purpose of it? Well, the purpose of it is it helps us to be able to heal, it helps us to align with our purpose, and it helps us to be able to go deeper into pleasure. What I mean by the healing, though, is like our body has a natural wisdom about itself, about how to align itself back up if it's gotten misaligned, how to get back into alignment. And ESR is the ability for us to, if something happened to us when we were a kid, or something that did not feel like love, in a state of ESR, what we find with clients, or I've seen with myself and going to ESR, is that I will remember the whatever it is that happens, but in that state of being such in pleasure, it's like you're reinterpreting it, you're reframing it, and that's how the healing happens.
Wow. Yeah, it's almost like, why is it important? Well, why is it important for the butterfly to go through the cocoon in order to fly? Right? Builds the strength. And so ESR also, it's just a part of a practice that we talked about. Sometimes cocooning happens before ESR, and so ESR to continually practice reaching a heightened state where anything that happens around you does not move you nor affect you unless you choose it to.
Yeah, it does not affect your peace. It does not affect your pleasure.
You got it. That takes a practice. And so ESR really is that practice. And why does it resonate with me so much that we do it in this way is that I can, go to a yoga class for myself. I can go to a dance class for myself. I can even meditate for myself. I've noticed that whenever I do something with also a focused intention from practitioners that are around me, or if I'm in tribe where other folks have the same desire and intention, the energy, really, the momentum is way faster. And so for me, I like to practice it on my own, but then also find as many times as possible for me to practice that in tribe as well, so that I am keeping my intuition on par, because I'm working with other people. And then when I do the work on my own, it's ensuring that I'm continuing to love myself and appreciate myself and realize that the bliss actually starts from within me and is not coming from anything externally.
Makes sense. That's a key thing, that it's not coming from something externally. One of the things that we come to know with ESR, especially once we get to a state of being able to go into it ourselves, is that this is us. It's through your own breath, your own movement, your own vocalization that you're going into this bliss, trance-like state. And that's not even adding a lover or anybody else. That's just us. And that's our power. That's why the tagline for Fo Sho energy work is ecstasy lies within, or ecstasy is within us. Because ecstasy is in each one of every human being. At our core, that's what we are. And ESR, we're just getting back in contact with that.
Yeah, and I think for some folks, when they hear that, like, what, ecstasy? Yeah, and it's not all ecstasy. Like, life is hard, life is tough. And yes, that is the cocooning for you to realize that when you break through the cocoon and can fly, yes, that is ecstasy, and that's the cycle of life. Right. Birth and death, we tend to see it as, it's one moment that you are born and then you die. Nature consistently reminds us that birth and death is in every single moment. And so cocooning and flying is literally the birth and rebirth consistently happening. And the more we practice birth and rebirth in every moment, we can see that in every breath. And then when we see that in every breath, we can be like, every moment is truly blissful. I have the choice to make every moment blissful because I am in control. When you were born on this earth, you were born on this earth to enjoy life in this human form, period. And all of the things and the occurrences that took place were meant to take place for you to realize how enjoyable this life truly is. And sometimes we don't see it as such until we are confronted with a hardship in life. And we can choose to wait until that, or we can also choose to get ahead of it and do the work and the practice, so when those hardships come, it's just another phase of the cocoon to fly. And it doesn't have to drag us down. We don't have to have huge bouts of depression or anxiety, or have a recurrence of cancer, or have blood sugar and blood pressure and all of these ailments and these diagnoses, when really those of us who suffered from those things know that at the core, it is our emotional well-being where a lot of this dis-ease of life really took root. And so we can get ahead of that stuff if we choose to.
Yeah, and the ESR, pun intended, is like a wave that is going to be, when we talk about healing the divine feminine, cocooning and ESR is going to play a major part in it. If as human beings, if we are to turn the corner and start healing, best believe that cocooning and ESR are going to be very important for us to revisit and remember. This is old technology. This is stuff that human beings had long time ago on the planet, and was being brought back to us again, so that we can progress, so that it can ESR affects our consciousness, cocooning affects our consciousness. As we cocoon and we ESR, you know what happens is that we're now able to look at life in a different way, and our consciousness expands. So pleasure actually helps us expand our consciousness. It's like we're able to go into a state of ESR where more things are pleasurable, because we're not looking at things the same way anymore. Our makeup is different. We're looking at problems and challenges in a different way, and able to get the peace and the pleasure from them, regardless if the thing changed or not. The family member may still be an asshole, but we're able to now glean peace or pleasure, and that's what cocooning and ESR helps us do. And that's your power.
Yes, that is your power to have, to practice, and to own.
Well, again, and with that, we want to, let you know who we are again.
Ooh, I want to say one more thing.
Sure.
I want to say that the reason why this proves effective every single time we do it is that in a society where it is revolutionary to lay down and do nothing,
right,
you are recoding your body for generations of our people being told they've literally got to be a slave to a system that they don't agree with.
That's a good point.
So that is why this is so effective, is that we are literally recoding the makeup of our people, of humanity. And as technology comes and goes and new innovations come through to support civilization, we are going to really, as humanity, remember what does it mean to be human. Yes, very good point. There's the whole idea that technology, I think some of us, we may put it up on a pedestal, but we have to remember that it comes through us. So therefore it's not greater than us. And ESR and cocooning, this is technology for human beings. So like Kirti is saying, this is something that's going to help us go and move into a greater level of being as humanity. So, and we're very fortunate and blessed and appreciative to be a part of this journey of remembering. So, and with that, Kirti, tell them who you are and how they can reach you. And my name is Kirti, and I am from Dilse culture. That's spelled D-I-L-S-E, and Dilse means from the heart. So if you're interested in heart-based culture, you can check me out on Instagram at dilse.kirtidance, or you can go to my website and see all the wonderful stuff we've got going on. We teach workshops together as well as retreats, and I am honored and would love to meet anybody who is called by this work.
Amen. And I'm Shofar from Faux Show Energy Work. And as Kirti said, we do coaching for couples and singles, men and women. We do energy work for couples and singles. We also have a book, Sacred Orgasmic Living, Sacred Orgasmic Living. And we do the workshops together. One series we do together is Hip Hop Kundalini. We do that with 2 other dope facilitators. And then we have another one called Intimate Relating, and we're getting ready to start another of that branch, KISS, K-I-S-S, Keep It Simple, keep it Simply Sensual. It's a mouthful. It's very sensual to let it roll off the lips. And so, and then we have other projects. So if you like this video, please subscribe, like, share it, and if this work, as Kirti said, if it moves you, reach out to us. And if you have questions, we answer them. All right, y'all. Keep shining, keep climbing. Peace. Good.
Yay.